It's a strange feeling, of course, acting as a living memory. So I'm going to talk about past, but actually the talk is about zeta scale programming. So I took the chance finding this journal out of there. Zeta flops, it's 10 to 21 floating point operations per second, a milestone in high performance computing. And this will be the future, probably, of SPEEDUP. But yes, I promised to give a little bit more stories, and actually it's more a warm-up for Thomas Schultes, who will then talk about the future, at least in Switzerland. So I went to the archive. I have no pictures, but I went to the archive and I found 20 workshops that at least Peter had no information about. It were hard copies, not on the web. I will briefly present you how did it start. And the first thing, so you learn very important things. For instance, this is the SPEEDUP logo. I hope you have enjoyed that logo before, because there's a strong message behind the logo, which is in memory of Roland Hensi, the third co-founder who died so early in the 90s. When we had decided that SPEEDUP is the name of our organization, we'd like to start the workshops. And then we said, okay, then we could visualize Amdahl's law, not of course with high performance graphics here, but as you see, percent of code that can be optimized 100%, and you get the outcome of 100%. So there's a certain wing, the SPEEDUP wing, which you can only learn about being here or having one of these yellow booklets from '87 in your bookshelf. Well, stories, and I'm sure there are other people here. Your name will be presented in my story. Professor Hochstrasser. I have Ralf, who can demonstrate whether these things are right or wrong. This was, I can report you back to the 80s, mid-80s. There had been a grade 1S in Lausanne, at the EPFL in Lausanne. It was installed, and that was the first vector processor in the sense that had been then installed after the CDC 6600, which was still operated at the compute center at the Clausiusstraße, which actually was already a parallel processor, a peripheral processor, and all that stuff. But as you know, the grade 1 was 100 megaflops, P to S, that's a bit. And that was developed in 1976, so 10 years before the development was done. So something happened which is unusual, at least in these days. We had the foresight of scientific politicians like Professor Urs Hochstrasser, director of the BBW. Please, Professor Hochstrasser, stand up and show to the audience. This is the guy. This is the person who brought supercomputing to Switzerland. At least he brought the money. And there was something strange, never happened after this. The politicians, the parliament, because of the influence of the motivation that was given by the Bundesamt für Bildung und Wissenschaft, 40 millions were given to the scientists. You get 40 million Swiss francs, you can buy a machine. And then the scientist said, okay, but for what? And which machine? And so it was a strange situation, and then usually what we do is commissions. There was a setup of commissions. At that time, already the ETH, EPFL already was in the booming phase, coming up at Zurich, and then something like a compute war, I would say. If you have a grade 1 in Lausanne, we need to have something in Zurich. Okay, so that could be the national supercomputer, that could be those 40 million. Yeah, what should that machine B. Well, then commissions, and this is because I use this Zeta. There was a committee also called Zeta, Zentrale ETH-Rechenanlagenkommission, commissioned 1986, 1987, with several subgroups, user groups, and that was the committee that had to decide which machine to buy. And at that time, there was a Cray XMP already on the market. It was an 800 megaflop peak machine, dual processors, but actually also it was already clear. Is it the right point to buy something? No, we hesitate, we look around, there's something coming, maybe parallelism is the future, all that stuff. So it took time. And that time, the scientists, of course on the application fields, they become nervous now. We want to have such a machine, because this drives the science. We see all over the world driving the science. Nevertheless, there was a decision done then by the committees, stop the National Supercomputer for some time, build a project Zeta-2, which is an intermediate solution at ETH Zurich. It was a Cray XMP that was installed, and an upgrade of a Cray 2 in Lausanne. Cray 2 was a gallium arsenide machine. Hopefully this technology then was not continued anymore. I don't know what happened to Earth with technology. And if you go to the web, you find material on Swiss TV. I will not show it here. There are two reports from 1988. One is Hans-Peter Lüthi, was one of the committee members here. What is high-performance computing? And the other one is Karl-August Seter explaining the situation in Switzerland. So the National Supercomputer was solved. We got these intermediate solutions over there, and that was the background of SPEEDUP that got born. I now have to switch to German, because I write a letter from March 87. Sehr geehrter Dr. Gruber, Ralf Gruber, please stand up, sitting over here. Those young guys do not know. Ich hoffe, Sie haben Ihre Frustration bezüglich der Kommissionsarbeit bereits überwunden. Auch ich möchte meine Energie nicht in irgendwelche Ali-Bemühungen stecken, sondern lieber dort aktiv sein, wo Resultate schnell und bürokratisch zu erwarten sind. Deshalb meine Zurückhaltung bei weiteren Benutzerbefragungen. In diesem Licht erschienen mir die Vorschläge bezüglich Seminaren und Share am konkretesten. Mir scheint es wichtig, dass ein kleiner Kreis von engagierten Fachleuten hier schnell aktiv wird. Allerdings würde ich von vornherein anregen, dass man Aktivitäten nicht nur auf Supercomputing im engeren Sinn, sondern dass man ein Forum schafft, das sich auf Parallel Processing Schweiz erstreckt. Dass man ein Forum bietet, bei dem man Parallelismus in all seinen Erscheinungsformen berichtet wird, wobei das Thema Supercomputer sicher einen wesentlichen Raum einnimmt. Gründe, dies zu tun sind, and then I stop of course here, because I got an answer by mail, April 14. Lieber Herr Burkhart, vielen Dank für die Bereitschaft, etwas zur Organisation von Seminaren beizutragen. Ich möchte Ihnen mitteilen, dass mein Interesse in Connection-Maschinen, Transputern, Hypercubes oder Dataflow-Architekturen außerordentlich groß ist. Wir würden gerne eine solche Maschine für unser ASTRIP-Projekt benutzen. And that was a positive answer. And then we said, Lausanne, I was in Zurich at that time, we need someone from Bern, and that was Roland Hensi who filled that part. And that was then the first protocol already sent out by email from JUNet to BitNet, and U02i, that was Roland Hensi. And my job was the acronym, and if you never have heard what SPEEDUP is, it's the Schweizer Organ für Parallelrechner, Entwicklungen und Ergebnisse für die Universität und Praxis. I had a second choice, it was faster, but this is history. Okay, and then in November we started. We have 25 years, we have 41 workshops, so we were a little bit younger at that time, Ralf and myself, so we said 3 guys, 3 workshops per year, because we need energy to bring it to that country, so we started, and that was the workshop already mentioned in the morning. Then we went to the Haus der Universität, and Jack was also a little bit younger. He had to give 2 talks, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And you see numerical flow simulation, also problems States, and we had a panels discussion in the afternoon with also the politics. That was in November 1987 at the Haus der Universität, probably around 60 people that we came. There was the next workshop already in January 15, and there, Wes, I think you forgot it, you have been speaker at the second workshop, multiprocessing with XMP concepts and FFT case study. So a lot of speakers here. There are certainly stories around. You mentioned you met Rudi Eigenmann at the airport. Rudi is now in charge of a $100 million project in the earth sciences. At that time, I was in Zurich. At that time, we built an 8-processor multi-microprocessor with Motorola 8 MHz CPUs. And David Padua was invited speaker. And Rudi gave a very nice demonstration of our system. He was invited to the States, and he never came back. So probably there are many stories in that sense, which this is now distributed. Like we have distributed memories, we have distributed memories also in the 20-watt brains. You see Ulrich Trottenberg Supranum, it's another story I cannot tell you here. There have been the next 17 workshops, Peter, which I could document more or less. There was the ASPI project workshop over here, and then we had all mixtures of applications, of architectures. There are some unknown, at least from my side, not everything is here. So we had these workshops which are running. We were running also years successfully, and I think it's seeing the quality of the speakers that we can find always, like today, having this here and compared to the audience, the number, not the quality but the quantity. It's extreme positive situation that we have this exchange. Yes, we had a journal, as I said at the beginning. Until the 24th SPEEDUP workshop, we had this yellow booklet, so all speakers gave us some material to bring it here, but we stopped it then because of all this copyright business, and that was another. We have seen workshop exchange, this is very good, but the journal is another thing. We had then the society in '93, as Peter has already mentioned in the morning, and it's more or less then also the task, financial situation, and to have voting for the board. And the board is the driving force behind. On the left side you see the current board, and I should have put a star to my left side because I left the committee and SPEEDUP is the only commission I rejoined. When Olaf went to Lugano, there was a vacation in Bali. I said, okay, I rejoined for the baby SPEEDUP, so I never did this before. And on the right side you see people that have been active. Carsten Decker, I've put a few names. Carsten Decker was heading here. Then Roland Hensi I mentioned. Marie-Christine Zorli, greetings from Marie-Christine. And now Director of Exascale Computing in Paris. Matthias Treuer was the chair. So these are the driving forces. And if it lives after 25 years, it was not clear. It shows that it has relevance today. So my last slide. SPEEDUP the next 25 years. What will we see? Performance will certainly play something in our business, but number crunching is not the only performance measure. In these days, we have data. We had data mining before, it's now called data forensics. We have the web. We have all that stuff. Payment. When I came to Zurich in 1975, my job said, I need that amount of memory and I'm willing to pay a virtual money of CT10, whatever this means. So some feeling what it costs in terms of energy, it's important for our planet. Productivity, of course, and that needs to be increased. There have been architectural waves. If we now have extrapolations like we had it in the morning, 1,000, 10,000, millions, billions of threads, and so be careful. We had always these waves. We had the beautiful connection machine with the lights, because it was a singing machine. If the light is on, everything is working, and we all saw it at that time. That is the future. And then, rapidly came down. Of course, we have another situation with the basic technology, but we will see the waves. And if there was a criticism in the morning about the data movement is expensive, there are other basic research things like processing in memory. The processing elements go to the memory, so they'll be sitting there. There are reconfigurable architectures, a lot of material before the web that was published, and that should be looked up, which is important then for the fault-tolerant architectures. So we will see the waves, certainly. We will have embedded high-performance computing. What will go to a car, we do not know at the moment, or other vehicles. We need something of a software factory, also composable components. We need more breakthroughs in algorithmic. What we presented in the morning in chemistry, it was great to show what algorithmics can do. And not always the more power, where the proofs are then already things. And as I said, the application movement. Think of the data, business data, things, knowledge management, and so on. So solvers, simulations, of course, they have their part, but there are other things that high performance also is could be summarized between. Yeah, there are other things, of course. 25 years. How will Fortran be called in 2037? Which version number for MPI? Any guess? And who tells students that once upon a time there was a simple dual? Speed up! Congratulations! It's an appetizer for 4 o'clock. Enjoy now Thomas Schultes about the real future of supercomputing in Switzerland. Thank you.